Please. So, we've come to the last day of the conference, Wednesday. We started on Sunday, as you all know, and today is the last day. It's the last day you have an opportunity to get what you came here to do done. The last day you have a chance to visit the exhibition hall, and the last day you have to get your contacts so that you can go and do good business for the next year. Over the last 2 days, we have dealt with several issues affecting not only the Caribbean region, but the entire world. One of the issues popping up on the session floor was leveling the playing field. And I'm sure when I say leveling the playing field, you're thinking about over-the-top operators and regulations. But that's not what we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about leveling the playing field with respect to giving women the same opportunities that men have. We all know that when women put their hands and their heads together, big things happen. I just want to say a few words about the forum. The CANTO Caribbean Women in ICT Forum, known as CWIT, was birthed by my predecessor, Rahini Fraser, with the help of Jennifer Britton and Ayana Samuels. And the objective of this forum was to provide a platform to showcase women in ICT in the Caribbean. At CANTO, we value the distinct nature of women and their unique ability to influence, strengthen, and elevate any industry. Just look at the composition of our board. My chairman will agree with me that at CANTO, women is at the forefront of the industry. In addition to sharing stories this morning, we want to recognize the outstanding achievement of some of the women in the Caribbean ICT industry. We have a nice lineup, and I will ask them to join me. Karen Bevans. I have to deviate a little bit here. Please indulge me. But when I came to CANTO over 15 years ago, Karen used to be the only woman on CANTO board. Today we have 5 women on CANTO board. Karen, you have set a standard. Since April 2014, Karen has been employed as Director of Tourism at the Belize Tourism Board in Belize City. Prior to this, she was the COO, CEO, and everything else in BTC, a company which she had been employed at for over 25 years. Karen, please join me. Next, we have Janice Sutherland, the first female CEO for Digicel Antigua and Barbuda and Montserrat, holding both roles. Next, we have Anushka Sonai. And Anushka is the CEO of Sprang, a different media company in Suriname. Anushka. And last but not least, we have our very own first female country manager for Turks and Caicos Islands business unit with over 21 years experience in the telecommunication industry. Delarice is in this role, has taken CW Turks and Caicos to the next level. Please join us. So, from telecommunications to tourism, I invite Karen Bevans to give us the keynote.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Testing, testing, I'm good? We can't afford to have any problems with ICT with males in the room. All right. Having been involved in the world of ICT for some over 30 years, I feel equipped enough to be a true testimony to the fact that the use of ICT can positively influence an individual, a nation, an organization, a community. Based on my bio, you are now aware that I have been at the Belize Telecommunications Company for some 25 years, and therefore directly involved in ICT for all that time. Coincidentally, I was in the position of Chief Operations Officer for 5 years, and I held the post of Vice Chairman of CANTO similarly for 5 years. That gives an indication of how much I was immersed in the business of ICT. At the end of March 2014, I retired from my career in ICT. Or maybe I should say I thought I retired from ICT. Because when I went into tourism, little did I know the significant overlap with ICT and tourism. Likewise, many other industries, such as natural resources, transportation, and many more, showing ideally how ICT impacts the national economy. So, in reflecting on my years in the world of ICT, I recall a brief moment, the words of a former chairman of CANTO at the opening ceremonies of a CANTO conference back in 2012. He said, and I recall, I quote, 25 years ago, when you thought of an apple, the first thing that came to mind was a fruit. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is technology, devices. 25 years ago, when you thought of a tablet, it was medication. That's no longer the case. It's technology as well. And he continued and went on to reminisce on things like BlackBerry. He went to even a mouse. But little did he say that 25 years ago, females were seen as secretaries, clerks, and even housewives. When I started as a woman in the ICT world, it was a highly male-dominated career. Of course, I can now stand here and say, we changed that. If you're familiar with the history of CANTO, you will be aware of what we refer to as the Young Girls Club. We had to keep the old boys club in check. We challenged them to the extent that I was pleased to hear the current chairman of CANTO in his remarks on Sunday saying, the CANTO board is made up of mostly females. It was a rewarding feeling to hear him utter those words. Just to give you a brief of my experience back in the days, as a woman in ICT, I would walk into a meeting and I was literally surrounded by males. Moreover, when you walk in, it's almost like if you saw the sign, trespassers will be persecuted. Gatherings in the ICT circle those days were approximately a 10% female to maybe a 90% male, if you're lucky. Sitting around a table in a meeting room felt like your views and opinions were not as important as that of the male, because you are not an engineer. You don't know. But in looking at the benefits of ICT today, I can say that the challenges we've been through in the past to get it to where it is today was well worth the struggles. Just a few benefits of ICT. Offers an enormous amount of opportunities. It empowers us as individuals, improves opportunities, and as all of us are aware in our organizations, provides for greater efficiencies. I am pleased through I passed through the Huawei booth Sunday night and saw a sign, Smart Tourism, and immediately think back of how I relate now ICT to tourism. It is so applicable today. Let me highlight for you specifically one of the opportunities ICT provides in the tourism industry. One of the latest buzz, as some of you may be aware, is what is called Airbnb. This is a new concept of online vacation home rentals, where you and I may have a couple rooms spare in our homes. For example, I have 2 kids, they're off to university, I have 2 spare rooms. I can upload that information, put my 2 rooms on the Airbnb website and rent it to tourists. This, of course, can be done with little or no resources because the technology used by Airbnb provides that for you, creating opportunities for up to housewives, for all of us, mainly for females to provide a source of income and a form of living, which is what we look for in national development. Let me give an example of Airbnb and how it impacts female.
Home sharing company Airbnb is a growing force in the global lodging industry. Nearly 80 million guests booked arrivals in 2016. That's about 200,000 every day. And women make up more than half of the hosts. First on CBS This Morning, Ben Tracy spoke with Airbnb's co-founder and CEO about the role of women in his business and how he found success in Silicon Valley.
Michelle Lai is getting her spare bedroom ready for her next guest. She rents a room in her San Francisco apartment on Airbnb, taking in about $15,000 a year.
It's been difficult to get by in San Francisco, and the additional income has definitely made it more comfortable.
As a female Airbnb host, she's not the exception, she's the rule. A study commissioned by the company found 1 million female hosts worldwide. That's 55% of all Airbnb hosts.
I've gained a lot of confidence through hosting. It's basically like running your own business and having a lot of control.
You say, wow, things have changed.
Brian Chesky is Airbnb's CEO. He co-founded the company in 2008 when he was 26 years old. He says Airbnb is inherently more democratic than many male-dominated businesses.
In 60 seconds, anyone can be an entrepreneur, anyone can be a host. I think that spirit of anybody has just become a more equalizing notion than maybe other industries where it requires connections, references, referrals, which I think have been proven to provide some greater barriers.
Airbnb's study found that since 2008, women have earned $10 billion by hosting. Female hosts in the U.S. earn an average of $6,600 per year.
What surprised you about the findings of this report?
50,000 women reported that they use this money to fund businesses or invest in entrepreneurial pursuits, to essentially become entrepreneurs.
Chesky wants to position Airbnb as an economic force for its hosts, with less focus on how it's disrupting the lodging industry and often battling regulators.
That in particular shows ICT as a tool to use for national development, so applicable to the theme for CANTO. And there are more uses of ICT when it comes to tourism. For example, you have destination apps. In Belize, we have an app. By the time you land in Belize, you could get on your mobile phone in the palm of your hands and see what's going on in Belize. Or small tour operators, the very small hair braiders, they could put their information now on the mobile app, and tourists can benefit from accessing that type of information on the hair braiders or tour operators or any destination they may choose to go. this is another use of the ICT.
Technology has proven to positively impact Belize's tourism growth. Over the past 5 years, Belize's tourism has grown significantly, largely due to the advancement of technology, with digital marketing strategies having the biggest impact on persuading travelers' behavior. The embracing of digital marketing and these technologies has allowed the Belize Tourism Board to provide a platform for our stakeholders to promote themselves and stimulate economic development within the tourism industry. Our latest example of the use of technology for tourism development is the Belize Virtual Trade Show, a first-of-its-kind initiative in Belize.
It's something very innovative that the Belize Tourism Board is doing, so I'm very glad that we don't have to travel nowhere. We can stay in Belize and do everything from here, so it's really good. Yes, I would like to add that I'm really excited that the Belize Tourism Board is have this initiative, and I hope that they continue doing this the following years.
Well, we had a very, very good experience. It was the first of our kind, well, in Belize, and we were very excited to be partaking in it. And when we learned about it, it was something that we said we definitely wanted to try. The experience was fantastic. We have already signed a couple agents, and we have a booking as early as next week. And we've also partnered with some local companies as well. So for us, the success was through the roof. At the trade show itself, we spoke with a couple people, and we were laughing around the world with each other because, you know, it was just such an interesting experience, especially when it was 3 o'clock in the morning our time and 11 o'clock their time, and we were able to do productive business. So it was really, really a fantastic experience.
We can therefore attest to the fact that because of ICT, Belize has received international recognition for innovation and has established us on the global tourism platform.
That was a new technology used because in the tourism industry, we travel from destination to destination to sell the country. And this software came about so that tour operators, hoteliers, everyone can be in a conference room and do it physically from your own destination. Imagine the amount of money you save. Promoting Belize to maybe an area like Europe, because traveling there is very costly, but we get the same information across with this new development in technology. So our stakeholders in Belize were very, very appreciative of this new development. And of course, there are other practical uses of ICT. If we go back to basics, the long distance learning, e-learning, and even things like the difference between sending a regular mail compared to an email. So those still exist, and we have to be mindful of the efficiencies that ICT has created in this area. And ICT also impacts the larger community. We are all familiar with Uber. Uber is a form of ICT. Use the Uber app, and it's so efficient, so easy. Online shopping. Females do a lot of online shopping. But let me just give you an indication of Uber, again, impacting the lives of females. As females, we have kids. We may not be able to work all day, but with the Uber technology, again, it gives female an opportunity to still earn a living. My kids could be at school in the morning. I do driving while they're at school, and in the afternoon, then I close down. I make some form of living again because of the opportunities that the new ICT applications are providing to females on a whole.
I'm ordering an Uber. There's a lot of traffic right now, but we're trying to get from Bay and Bloor to Wanyang Street.
I usually start my day at 6:37. When I turn on my app, I get calls right away. I don't do the nighttime. As a woman, I wouldn't feel as safe, and just be cautious, I suppose. And this job, it allows you to choose, which is great.
And while there are all those positives with ICT, we also have to be mindful that there are negatives if it's abuse. Of course, we need to educate our young girls on the use of ICT. It could be used for pornography. We upload nude photos. Those are wrong uses of ICT, but it must be made aware. So we look at the positive and we use the positives and try to stay away from the from the negatives, but there can be abuse of ICT, which we have to be mindful of and prepare for. And let's not think that there are still not challenges for women in ICT. We still have challenges. We just have to continue the drive towards improving. The family support is always good because we have to balance that equation between family and work. It's a bit more challenging for us, but it's not impossible. It's still doable. So the support for females in ICT is necessary. And females, again, we can do it. Let's change our mindset and recognize that we can make a difference in the world. We just have to have the right attitude and the will and want to do it. Just before I close, I just need to highlight this slide because I was researching while I'm preparing for this presentation, and there are no concrete statistics on the growth of females in ICT. I think that is something that maybe we could look at as CANTO and see how we can develop that. But there are a lot of figures thrown around, and all those figures I have there, yes, I found on the internet, but they're all subjective information, no concrete information. I was happy when I was researching, I saw the CANTO presentation, CANTO saying that there are about 30% of females in the ICT workforce. I think that was said last year in Puerto Rico. So I was glad to see that with Teresa and Rochelle giving a presentation. So our information is out there, but I think together we need to put more concrete statistics so we can access that type of information. And in closing, I must say that all the examples and opportunities I described earlier, they are directly in line with this year's theme for CANTO Conference, Reimagining ICT as a tool for national growth and development. Using ICT to continue in creating opportunities for women and young girls is precisely your formula for national growth and development. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. So we would start our conversation, and I want to start with Delores, first female CEO in Turks and Caicos. Tell us, Delores, what was your path, and why did you choose ICT?
Okay, my mic is on. Good morning, all. It started 19 years ago when I was head of sales. But I'll carry you back further. I was 17 years old, living in the Bahamas, and my first job, my summer job, was at Patelco, which is now known BTC. Back in the days, we did telegrams, and we were operators, and so I got a feeling that this is what I wanted to do, not knowing that some years later I would marry my handsome husband and we would relocate to the Turks and Caicos. And there I got a job as customer service supervisor at Cable and Wireless. So that started in 1996. Shortly after that, I was promoted to assistant marketing manager. A year and some after I started. So they saw that in me. They saw the confidence that I had and the passion that I had for the business. Soon after, I was promoted head of sales. And then I became the first female senior manager on that team. And after that, then I was promoted to vice president of sales and services, where I manage technicians. Mind you, I don't have that engineering background, but I manage technicians and account managers. And then after that, I said to myself, you've been doing this for some 19 years. I've been 21 years now in the business. I said, you've been doing this for some 19 years. You can do this. And I say, women, once you put your mind to it and you believe it, you can go for it. And the sky is the limit. I mean, I was afforded the opportunity to represent the Turks and Caicos, the business unit that I manage. We are all superstars in the Turks and Caicos. We strive on excellence, our passion and our desire. And this is what I've done for my part of my journey as being the country manager, first female country manager. And Cable and Wireless Turks and Caicos celebrates 120 years. So I will tell you our history.
So Anushka, I want to turn to you now. Tell us about what's your overall female CEO moment?
Well, let me start to say that when I went to the university, I was 17 years old, and I at first thought I wanted to become a doctor. So I went to the university in Suriname to become a doctor, medical school. But then after 2 or 3 years, I saw that, no, that is not what my passion is. That's not what I can do every day. And so after that, I went to do electrical engineering. That was what my study was. And we were only 2 women, 2 ladies, 2 young girls, and 18 other boys. So the group who studied electrical engineering was there were only 2 female. Nowadays in Suriname University, we have that almost 70% of the women who graduate from the university are female. So I'm saying all the people who are graduating, almost 70% is female. So we see that there is a trend in the world that women are stepping up, we are taking our position. And for me, it was that when I applied for my job in a previous company, which was also a digital media company, I started off as a project manager. And it was, at first, I was just one of the project managers, and it was later on that I became the supervisor of the team. But then suddenly the path with me crossed with Spamakandra, which is a digital media platform. We are a platform for creative talents who actually help young people to become professionals in the world of ICT. And like our keynote speaker just mentioned, how Apple, BlackBerry, and tablets are taking over the industry. What we do is we help young talents to make a living out of the trends that are there. And we offer companies these services. So my part was, I started off as an account manager, and after that I became the lead of sales and marketing. And there is a saying, it says it's in the eyes of the beholder, but it also has something that I needed to actually say what I wanted. It wasn't that, oh, you're doing great in your job, so it's automatically that you will become the next CEO. Yes, you have to ask for it, and you have to speak out. Yeah, you have to want it and really go for it and see that, okay, this is something I want, and you have to communicate about it. And it takes a lot of courage to do that, because the ICT world is really man-dominated, especially back in Suriname. And not only the ICT world, but like the whole business world is really man-dominated. So like one of the first, not the first, one of the first female CEOs, it took me some courage to say, this is what I want, and I believe I can do it. And I think my passion for what I do made me realize, and the blessings of my parents and my family to accept that I'm doing a non-traditional thing was something that helped me to grow and become the CEO, yes.
Another first female CEO, Janice.
Yeah.
Tell us your story.
So I suppose I'm maybe a little different to some of the ladies up here in that I didn't start in ICT. That's not my background. As you can tell by the accent, I'm not Caribbean born, I'm UK born. So being the daughter of a first generation immigrant at the time, the expectation was you finished school and you got a job. And the jobs then, and I'm a 60s baby, so I won't tell you how old I am, but I'm a 60s baby. So that meant you basically got a job, and it was literally any job. And I was probably the first to go to college, because that was a big thing. So I started being a nursery nurse, which is like a real female type role. I wasn't good at it at all. Was not my calling. But to cut a long story short, I moved to the Caribbean about six years ago. And I started at Digicel as commercial manager, went to work through as a regional commercial director. And the CEO role was bandied around for a long time. It was like, Janice, go for it, it's a natural transition, why don't you do it? And I think what stopped me at first was a couple of things. First of all was the role model I had in those roles. It was male, it was, dare I say, Caucasian. It was a very different style to me, to what I was used to how I would want to be a CEO. And I always remember my then CEO, Victor, said to me, well, Janice, you do the job anyway, you make me look good. You know, why don't you make the job yours? So that's what you have to do, I think, is that don't try to emulate the man. You know, bring your own style, bring your own version, bring your own flavour to what the role is. It may seem sometimes, and I've been told, oh, you're emotional. It's bloody good to be emotional. It means you're in touch. It means you're in touch with your employees. You have a different spin on it. For me, it's about supporting the women, bringing them up through the ranks. If they can see a woman's at this level, they have something to aspire to. It's, as a woman, how do you make it attainable for women to do the jobs? It was quite interesting that Karen talked about women and Uber, women having to find a job, that fits around the kids. Why? Why is it not the case that the man helps you with the job? If you are the breadwinner, for God's sake, why does it have to be that way? So I think we're still in a very patriarchal society, and whilst we're making headroads as women in this industry, there's still a lot to be done.
Karen, so we heard a little bit of your story. So I want to ask you, what are the top 3 qualities that made you the right fit for a CEO position, a leadership role? And I will ask all of the panelists to share this as well.
Okay, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
But I think the will. I wanted to do it. And hard work. It's not easy. We have to put in the work, and the more you put in, the more you get out. The other thing is that I try to be a role model for younger kids, students, young girls. I tend to attend career days and give my story. I let them understand that it's not an easy road. It's not paved. You will have rough roads, but persevere. Continue. It's challenging. It's not easy. I continue to say that because it's not easy. It's a lot of hard work, and balancing your family and work life is not an easy thing either. Some of us even go to school. So we have family, we have school, and we have the work. But as female, that says more for us, because it shows that we work even harder to get where the males are. So we are stronger. Let's not give up. Let's continue to persevere. Being a role model for me was the key. The second one is, one of my wow moments was when I see that I earn the respect of males. I did not ask for it or literally ask for it, but the way we carry ourselves, the hard work we do, and the knowledge we display. Because when we do hard work, you get the knowledge. And the knowledge we display, you could see from their faces, you were impressive to them. You earn their respect. And once you earn their respect, you're on the road, you're in the right road. You're in a meeting, and the room gets silent in listening to you, because you're saying something right or you're doing something right. But we cannot go as well and push ourselves like, you must listen to me weirdly. No. All I asked for personally was a level playing field. I didn't want anything over the males. I wanted a level playing field so that what I do and what I say, it earns as much respect as what everybody else says. I don't want to be better than you, but I want to show you that we females are as important as you males in any work, especially in ICT.
Dallas, you want to tell us, what are your top 3 qualities?
Well, my top 3, is it on? My top 3 qualities, I would say, my leadership skills. That's one of them. I lead by an example. I take the hit for the team. So the success or the failure of the business, it falls on me. And so that I consider leadership, top leadership. My team consists of many male persons, I think there's about 3 female and about 5 male that sit on my team. And we all respect each other. I give them their voices and they speak. I give them their chance and they act. And I have 2 of them sitting in the room with me right now. My husband here, also a supportive person. He's my biggest supporter. So family is a big thing in the deal of a woman and their esteem and their growth to becoming a country manager, a CEO. So my husband, like I always said when I moved to the Turks and Caicos, he sought that job for me. He said, babes, this is your job. It was advertised in the newspaper. So he believed in me. He saw the confidence that I had, and I went with it. I went with that. Another one is my years of experience, and I told you about that. I took you through my journey of my years of experience of 21 years, working in so many different areas within my organization, from customer service to marketing to head of sales, now country manager. So my years of experience, I thought that would put me in the right position to make sure that I can apply for this awesome task on which I was granted. And then my passion. I have this passion for the job. I love the job that I do. You have to really love the job, because if you don't love the job, you wouldn't deliver, you wouldn't have a success story. And so the passion that we have as women, we need to make sure we display that. And I really thought today, after the opening ceremonies, saying all of the ladies gathered in that room, that we would have had a packed room today with ladies. Where are the ladies? This is the awareness that we need to bring to the ladies. They need to be a part of this. They need to tell their stories, because we have powerful, unique stories. All of us on this platform, we are all unique. And ladies, we've done it. And you who are aspiring to do it, you can do it as well.
So I think in every business, it's very important that you have a good performance for anyone, male or female. Because if you perform well and if you deliver results, that's when you're recognized for your knowledge, as Karen said, and for what you do. So in Dutch we call it a strebertje. That's someone who always wants to have the best of what she can achieve. I have that quality in me. I believe that performance is very important, and I always, the other female entrepreneurs whom I coach, I always tell them that delivering is one of the first things, because that is when people will take you serious. They will know that you have something to offer, that you bring something to the table. And what my experience was mostly is that when I have the first handshake with a male business person, it might not be my knowledge or my intelligence that appeals to him. It's mostly, or sometimes it's, oh, that's another good-looking girl. Oh, maybe she is like, oh, let's try. And yeah, the flirting, the flattering, all of that. You have to find a way to deal with it, because it will happen all the time. And know that you want to be recognized for your performance, your intelligence, and that you want to deliver good results like any other male colleague is doing. So yes, I think most of the women recognize that in here. So finding the way how to leverage between, and you can't be too rude, and you know, and yeah, you have to be very modest, diplomatic, like how to handle that. And it's not that because you are at the drinks, at the networking gathering, that, oh, you could visit my room or something. It's like, okay, no, this is business, so we're speaking. So performance, yes. Also sharing knowledge and inspiring other people. I'm not from the 60s, but I'm from that area in where we share what we believe, what we feel on social media. A huge platform where you can find lots of like-minded people, persons with the same challenges and opportunities. That is one of the tips I would like to give, that utilize the tools you have at your start. You just need your smartphone and tweet about it, post on Facebook, and engage with like-minded people and inspire others as well. So that helped me also in the personal branding on social media. That's very important. I think all of us here should have a LinkedIn profile which tells the story about what your expertise is, what your experience is, and that is how you will also be recognized, because those are channels where people might find you and know that, okay, Anushka is an expert in digital media. Yes, she knows how to reach your target audiences. So I think that's very important. And also to have a very good support systems, because I can guarantee that the way to the top, it has its downfalls also. It has its falls. It has the moments when you think, okay, why am I even doing this? It's not getting me the results. I'm not growing. This is not what I wanted. I want better. And why am I failing in it? But it's okay to fail. And when you fail, you have a support system who is there, your parents, your friends, your team. And if you don't be the boss in the company, you're like one of the team members, you will always find a very good support in them. So the support system built on it, your friends, your best friends might be your best support when you fail. And know that only when you have once fallen, you will be able to stand up and reach higher. So that's my motivation.
Okay, to narrow it down to 3, it's pretty tough. But I'm thinking here, what would it be? The first thing I would say is MacGyver it. And when I say MacGyver it, there's nothing you can't do if you look at it. There's a solution. Many men will walk into a job and they'll wing it. They'll say, I know 50% of that, so I'm qualified. Women don't do that. We need to know chapter and verse, 100%, everything in there before we go for it. Don't do it. You can do it, just have that mindset. And if you don't know it, ask. You know, there's no shame in my game. If I said didn't come from the technical field, but I don't know it, and I still get bamboozled by the numbers and the technology now. But I find a man who can and who knows, or a woman, to ask that question. So I'd say the first thing is MacGyver it, and nothing is a challenge. The second thing is, as a woman in this industry, is sponsor. And when I say sponsor, I don't talk about being a mentor to me being a mentor. I mean sponsor the women that are behind you. If you see someone that's doing a good job, speak up for them, put them forward. Do not be intimidated thinking they will take your job, because bottom line is you're not going to be here forever anyway, and someone's going to do it. So sponsor that person behind you, pave the way, make it easier for them. You're the pioneer, and again, I can be that old again. You're the pioneer. So you're the pioneer for the younger ladies women coming behind you. So to set that trend, buck the trend, and make a difference. And the third thing is stay true to you. You know, who you are got you where you are. Nothing different. So don't try and change to be like the man. Don't try and change, you know, you think like them because they're wily characters. You know, you can think like them, but you don't have to be them. So that's, you know, so you know, I don't need to take you to my room. Sorry, Anushka. Right. But you can definitely think like them, just not be like them. So just be you.
So I'll stay with you, Janice. Do you see women at the forefront of the Caribbean ICT industry, or do you think we have a long way to go? And the men in the audience need not feel insecure or anything. It's just a conversation.
I think we have a long way to go. Mm-hmm. I think we still have and like I said, I'm listening to the conversations up here today, and it's not just about us pushing forward, it's the attitudes and the patriarchal society we're living in that also needs to change. So and that's what I'm talking about, you know, we need to almost change that, because God love you men, you don't know how to. So we need to kind of put that forward. So I still think there's a lot of work for us to do. It's great we're here, but we can't stop. We need world domination. You know, we need to take over. We know who runs the world, girls. And we need to keep pushing forward.
Okay, Karen, you agree? I think everyone will agree we have a long...
We do have a long way to go, but I'm optimistic because of the progress I've seen so far. From where we started when I started in ICT to where we are today, I am very, very hopeful, and I like her point of paving the way for others. That's one downside sometimes of females. We don't do that enough. So I do like that point. I think we need to push that more. But we have a long way to go, but there is light at the end of the tunnel.